13 games down, one more to go. It's been an exciting 2026 ACC men's basketball tournament so far. And now it's the Duke Blue Devils taking on the Virginia Cavaliers. The Blue Devils looking to go back-to-back for the first time since 2010 and 2011 with the ACC Tournament Championship. UVA, they have a chance to win their fourth ever ACC chip. Should be a fun one. And for more, we'll send it over to Emily Spivak. With the conclusion of Virginia Tech men's basketball season, I found myself scrolling Twitter because I was curious about how the Hokie faithful perceived the year. Mixed feelings is the best way I'd describe what I saw, but something stood out to me that was, in fact, a little distressing. People were describing Neo Abdalis' season as a Greek tragedy. And I gotta admit, hey, it's decent wordplay. Neo was a true freshman out of Kalmata, Greece, after all, and he did fall out of NBA draft projections as the season went on. However, I grew up an absolute nerd for Greek mythology, so my hunt for a better comparison began. Well, it's safe to say it's been an interesting year for Hokies football. After last season, another swing and a miss at being competitive and going 6-7, it was clear change needed to happen in Blacksburg, and it came in the likes of an offensive and defensive coordinator change, plus 30 transfers. Now, in 2025, the transfer portal is ever prevalent, and it's way different than it was in this guy, Frank Beamer's head coaching career. So, players leave for all different types of reasons, right? Whether it's money, better team, more playing time. But for Isaiah Brown Murray, it's a bit of a different reason. Fortunately, it didn't take long for a frontrunner to appear. With Christopher Nolan adapting the Odyssey to theaters this summer, I wanted to start there. And as I read more and more of the Greek epic, I started to realize Neo is simply a modern-day Odysseus. I'm here with 2026 and two-time ACC tournament champion Malik Brown. Malik, how do you feel when you saw Caden Boozer get that last-second turnover to win the game?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just a real moment, obviously, not being in this tournament to be able to compete in it last year. But just not surprised at all. You know, Caden's been making those big-time plays and performances all year, so we're not surprised at all.
Let's start with the fact both heroes grew up on the Ionian Sea, only about 5.5 hours away from each other. But I could go on for days about the fact that these two are both from Greece, so I wanted to hone in more on their stories. So if things were great with the Pirates, what made Brown Murray leave? Well, remember how I told you he was balling out, right? The only issue is, on the flip side, ECU really struggled. They ended up going 18-20 over 3 seasons, and head coach Mike Houston found himself out of a job. So now, Isaiah Brown Murray doesn't know who his head coach is going to be. Really leaves him with one option: hit the portal, right? And just like any great magic trick, ta-da! All right. All jokes aside, IBM did find himself a pretty nice new home in Blacksburg inside Lane Stadium. But no one could have predicted the firing of head coach Brent Pry. So 2 years, 2 head coaches. Leaves I-9 in a pretty rough spot, right? For those who don't know, Odysseus started off the tale red hot as the mastermind behind the Trojan War, building the famous horse that we all know and love. For Neo, he started off the year earning ACC Rookie of the Week honors twice, while dropping 30-plus on multiple occasions. With both on top of Mount Olympus, sadly the only place left to go was down. When you came to Duke, you wanted to win championships. Now you're a 2-time ACC tournament champion. Can you just bring me through that feeling and the process of coming here and how you've grown?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Obviously, it was a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that. But, you know, just not shying away from any contact or any challenges. And, you know, and with Coach Shire and the rest of the staff, you know, they helped us with that the whole season.
Duke is your 2026 ACC tournament champion. Have a great time dancing, Malik. During Odysseus' journey back to his home island of Ithaca, he had suffered a curse along the way from the Poseidon, the god of the sea, who punished Odysseus by cursing all of his men to pass away on his journey home, alongside multiple other roadblocks. All right. Don't worry. Neo did not receive a curse from any deities, but he did face multiple key losses with teammates such as Tyler Johnson and Toby the Wall missing over 20 combined games. But is it really a story if the heroes don't overcome adversity? I'd argue not. Now, there's still a lot of season left to be played for VT, 6 games to be exact. And with the Hokies currently sitting at 2-4, it's going to take a lot from the boys in Blacksburg if they want to get to their 3rd straight bowl appearance. Now, I'm no expert, and I don't know about you, but if I had to choose someone to lead my men into the battle, why not choose the lockdown corner, Isaiah Brown Murray, who's taking the gridiron by storm? Guys. Sam Lewis. Dribble handoff to Caden Boozer. He gets it back from Cam. Caden driving to the left wing, kicks to Isaiah Evans, dribbling through the lane. Floater inside to Malik Brown, who pulls it down on the right low block. Kick out straightaway Evans. Pump fakes and drives inside. Takes a bump at the right elbow, puts up an underhand layup that swirls out, and it's rebounded by Grunlow. Sam Lewis up the floor for UVA, dribbling with his left hand. He slows down on the straightaway. Kick to a left wing, Dallin Hall. Pump fake and feed to Sam Lewis at the top of the key. Guarded tightly by Dame Sarr. It's Hall on the left angle. He dribbles to the left corner, slows down, and finds Testa-Ritter at the straightaway. Guarded by Cameron Boozer. Testa-Ritter throws it inside, picked off by Malik Brown for Duke. Caden Boozer the other way quickly for the Blue Devils. 19-19 left to go in half number 2. 38-36 the score. Duke leads by 2. Here's Cameron Boozer on the right low block. He's dribbling against Dallin Hall. Trying to back him down. He spins and slows up on the right short corner. Feed inside to Malik Brown. Shovel pass to Dame Sarr. Kick out left wing 3, Isaiah Evans. And he swirls it home. Showtime Slim, 10 points today, and Duke leads 41-36. 18:55 left to go in half number 2. A title will be claimed at the ACC tournament. Here's Dallin Hall at the top of the key for UVA. He feeds into Sam Lewis's hands, guarded tightly by Caden Boozer. Kick to the right angle, it's Malik Thomas. His green shoes accent the court as he dishes inside to Testa-Ritter. Kick to the top of the key, it's Lewis. Wide open right angle 3, and he rattles it home. 41-39 now the score. UVA responds. 18:30 left to play in half number 2.
For two programs that could not knock down the three ball, some hot shooting from beyond the arc within the first minute and a half.
Sam Lewis earns his 7 points today with that triple. Here's Caden Boozer on the right angle for Duke. Bounce pass inside to his brother Cam on the right low block. He feeds inside to Malik Brown. Brown loses control of it, and it flies out of bounds. Caught by Grunlow, who saves it, and he fires into Malik Thomas's hands up the floor. 25 seconds on the shot clock for the Cavaliers as Thomas slows down on the left wing. He feeds to the top of the key. It's Grunlow. Dribbling and looking for options. He kicks to the left angle. It's Thomas. Feed inside, Testa-Ritter on the left low block. Spin move, kick out. Right angle 3, Grunlow thinks about it. He steps out and kicks to a Thomas, driving through the lane. He goes up with the right hand, kisses it off the glass, and we're all tied up at 41 apiece. 17:50 left to play in half number 2.
Some nice ball movement. Even though he passed up that open look, you find a teammate on the back cut, exactly what you want to see if you're Ryan Odom.
Caden Boozer with 14 points today leads all scorers at the top of the key for Duke. He's guarded tightly by Thomas and feeds Isaiah Evans. Pull up, right wing 3, rattles out. Sky high rebound for DeRitter. He feeds forward to Thomas. UVA pushing quickly. Thomas spin move through the lane, up and under, gets fouled on the shot. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Absolutely swarmed by Duke defenders there. That was a 1-on-4, but it's still a strong take. Earns him that trip to the charity stripe.
All tied up at 41 apiece. UVA will have 2 shots from the line. It was Caden Boozer called for the foul. He picks up his first personal.
And you look at the fouls for both teams. Duke, that's just their 6th team foul of the contest, first of the half. And for Boozer, it's only his first. The only guy in mere foul trouble is Malik Brown, who has 2 for the Blue Devils.
17:28 left to go in half number 2. Thomas at the line, puts it up and knocks it down. 42-41, UVA back in the lead after trailing by as many as 7 in the first half with 2:31 left to play. Thomas on the year is a 74% free throw shooter. He is 3 for 3 from the line today. Takes 3 dribbles, spins it in his hands, bends the knees, and a flick of the wrist, and he goes 4 for 4. 43-41, UVA leads by 2, 17:28 left to go until we know who the 2026 ACC tournament title winner is. Here's Caden Boozer up the floor for Duke. The UVA fans on their feet. Boozer slowing things down. He kicks into the left wing for Sarr. Top of the key, it's Cam Boozer. Into the right angle for Caden Boozer. Kick to the top of the key for Sarr. Back over to Cam. Feed inside, it's Cam. Cross-court pass to Isaiah Evans. Left wing, quick fire 3. Isaiah Evans knocks it down. His 3rd triple today. 13 points for Isaiah Evans, and Duke is back ahead, 44-43. 17 minutes left to go. Here's Lewis up the floor for UVA. Dribbling between his legs, he's guarded by Isaiah Evans. Kick to the top of the key for Grunlow. He fires it right back to Lewis. Left wing 3, and this one drops. 46-44, UVA takes it back. They lead by 2. 16:45 left to play in half number 2. In-state foes clash on I-81 as the Hokie Invite Day number 2 kicks off between Virginia Tech and the JMU Dukes. He's Riley Klaus. I'm Robert Bateman with you on the Virginia Tech Sports Network. And Riley, the Hokies have been rolling recently, 10 straight wins for Virginia Tech. Rumors have surfaced that Frito-Lay is looking into hiring Duke head coach Jon Scheyer as their next head of marketing. Seems strange, but hey, who can blame him? Sheyer's captured 3 different ACC tournament chips in 4 years. With a fundamentally different roster every season, clearly he has some skill mixing flavors. For more on Sheyer's impressive tenure at Duke, here's Robbie Ackerley. Mike Young hat med Antonio Dorn in Blacksburg eine Schlüsselsumme Erfolgen gefunden. Die Freshmen kommen aus Hamburg, über 2 Meter groß und hat nach 2 Jahren aus Basketball einiges auf dem Kasten. Mehr über den deutschen Star erfahren Sie von Logan Musey. Well, never fear. Bree Carrico and Emma Mazzarone are here. They're a 1-2 punch that not even a Floyd Mayweather Philly shell could handle, Riley. The two of them have been lights out for the Hokies in the circle so far.
What was the stat?
Yeah, so I have it right here. On Saturday, we saw 9 bubble teams play: Virginia Tech, Mizzou, SMU, Cincinnati, Cal, New Mexico, Indiana, Auburn, and Texas. All 9 proceeded to lose. People have been preaching to expand the tournament, and I feel like this proves exactly why the field is perfect at 68.
Do not go to 76. Right.
Well, hoops are currently the talk of the town, but let me remind you in case you forgot. James Franklin's at the helm, baby. Virginia Tech football has been riding a hype train that seems like it's headed straight towards the top of the ACC. And E.J. Jones took his time to break down Coach Franklin's first recruiting class in Blacksburg. E.J., what do you got? And then Pitt was back in action, the number 15 seed taking on the number 7 NC State Wolfpack. And their first matchup, Quadier Copeland balled out for NC State, and the Wolfpack got that one done 98-88. You move on to game 2, and it was number 11 SMU back in action against number 6 Louisville. And it was tight the entire way until Ryan Conwell hit a 3 late to give Louisville the lead, and they ran away from there 62-58. Well, the Hokies' second game of the doubleheader is against a familiar foe in Radford, who also has some familiar faces. Well, those Virginian foes are no stranger to each other on the gridiron, and they have a shorter history than you might think. And with more on the all-time clashes between the Hokies and Monarchs, it's our very own Robbie Ackerley.
Couple that comes to mind, and there's some sports movies in there too, like Major League, The Natural. I've actually got a natural tattoo on my arm. Yeah, so those are some of the ones that stand out to me.
There you go. For me, it was always Surf's Up. And this episode of Tech Sideline is presented by First Bank and Trust Company.
Yeah, Virginia Tech on their 13th straight win. 20-2 is the best start in program history. And Riley, you're completely right. The Hokies found themselves behind, but they came back to win 7-6. And Virginia Tech is no stranger to adversity. In 9 of their 20 wins this season, they have been behind on the scoreboard and come back to win it all. Great work, Sophie. You made sure our next reporter has big shoes to fill. And speaking of trying to meet expectations, VT Women's Soccer set the bar rather high last season. With more on the Hokies' aspiration for glory, here's Landon Weaver. And we find ourselves at the other baseline, so we'll send you back to the guys, but it's Virginia and Duke. Your ACC tournament final is all set and ready to go.